Hello, hello. Lovely to see you all. Happy Sunday. Happy sunny Sunday as well. So it's been a really nice day. It's been one of those days for me again. Jackie and I have been at the Thetford show, paper crafting show. So it's been quite manic getting home. I haven't unpacked the car. So when I was looking for things to use, guess where it is? It's out there somewhere. So a bit of a mismatch and what I've got in the house that I can use for you. But I have got one thing that came in with my tote, so I'm going to show you. Hi Shaz, lovely to see you. So I'm going to do a little bit of a mismatch today. I might use the masks again. I know I showed you them the other day. I'm going to run through the cards that we made. Oh, I've buried them now already. They haven't been 5 minutes. There we go. They're there. The cards that we made today. So I will do those after the first run through here. Tuck them underneath before I start. I've got some reminders and yeah, I think we're kind of ready to make something. Hi Maxine, hi Anne, lovely to see you today, and it was really good. So some of you have seen some of the projects I've had on, Jackie and I've had out on display, and there's one that I'm quite pleased with because it was only finished off quite recently. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of that. It will be coming as a class, so that'll be something to look forward to. Had a lot of compliments on one of the particular designer series papers. Now, so I'm going to bring you down onto the table and I'm going to start by saying this one. Okay, so let me get you down there. Just a sec. That one's there. Oh, come on there. There. Come on. Oh, that's it. I'm there. Okay, doke. So the sale, first of all, designer series paper sale. We've said it umpteen times today at the show. You can stock up and save 15% off selected papers between the 1st and the 30th of June. So that's all of this month, the whole of the month. And we do have a comprehensive list. I did have some printed, but they're still outside. But if you look in the catalogue, you will find that most of the papers that are $11.75, this being one of them, $11.75, a lot of these priced ones are going down to £9.98. So there's 15% saving on those. So if you go to page 129 in the catalogue, okay, and you'll see all the ones at $11.75 will have gone down. And there's some 6 inches, but you get more 4 times as many. So it's kind of works out the same value. So have a look through those and see which your favourites are. If you want me to pop an order through for you, I have got an order going through, and I've already ordered a load more of the blues here. So I'm kind of going to go with those themes because of the project I'm going to show you in a little while. So you've got your discounts on those, and then I'm going to turn you to a page where the masks are. So on here, I did touch on them briefly the other day. Just get that out of the way. Everything's sliding down. Go in there. So the masks are hidden on here on page 136. Okay, just straighten you up a little bit. There's 2 designs in here. So decorative masks. You've got the artistic mix, which is the... Hi everybody joining. The artistic mix is the new one, and the four square, is that the new one? Anyway, there's 2 in there. They don't put the little red buttons behind here. So anyway, there's 2 sets of masks in there. We're going to be using these ones here at the bottom. So number 3, that's the artistic mix. So I'm going to be using that one again. I've got some of the blending brushes out. They were really popular today as well, and particularly with the masks. So I'm going to be using the blue colours, but I'm going to be using those products. Okay, so we'll shut that for now. While I've got them out on the desk, I think I might have done one of these with you. Somebody pipe up and say, the regular followers, just let me know if I have or not. This was the make and take that we did last week with the cherries. And I love this piece of background. The twin layer... Hi everybody, hi Pam. The one I originally done this with was the split dies, split texture dies, which was like 2 triangles. They sadly retired in the last catalogue. So I redid it with this piece of mesh that came from the one that's sitting buried under here. It's the Chic, Season of Chic dies. So it's one of those in there. And I had David laboriously die cut loads of those for last weekend's show. But then we found that was a little bit dizzy. Yes, I have done that one. Okay, so yes, I did. Yes, you have. Excellent. So you're all on the ball with me. So what we did for this week's one today, we switched that up and we used the masks. So we had 3 different designs on the masks. So this is what I'm kind of going to just go through that with you today. I have used masks. I can't remember which one I used them on. But I'm going to be going back to the blues, but I wanted you to see the different ways of using it. And what we did for as demos, I marked them up on here. I put with my Dymo printer, I put ink this side up. With so many people using the same mask, if you're doing a class with it, you don't want people putting the ink side down on the card and then smooching it and getting it all messy. So I put ink this side up. Now on the back of some of these, if I pick you a different one, that one. So I'll take those away from you at the moment. So like this one here, on the back side, you've got really sticky coming through the back there, and kind of that might hinder or help, whichever you might think. So I've got some of the Scotch tape, torn a piece off about the same length, and then just cut it to the width of that label. Okay, so I can eyeball that to about there, cut a little slither off, put that in the bin, and then this, sorry I knocked the camera, and then this one can just go over the back there, like so. So no more sticky, and it's all nice and sealed in. Okay, so that's what I did with mine. So it has stained here in the green. With the square one, you have to kind of like, if you go square, you've got to be straight. Hi Karen, you like the mesh? I love all those masks, and I hadn't used them recently, and now I've kind of used them a little bit more. If you go square on a card, so you've got a straight line, I've got the envelope in there, so if that looks strange. If you go straight, you've got to be straight, otherwise your card will look strange. So if you want to combat that, if you turn this on the diagonal, and I think that's probably what I did the other week, the other day, and I went this way, you end up with this diamondy pattern. And it doesn't matter if it's not straight, it doesn't show. Okay, so that's a couple of little hints just because that's what we've done today. I've done it to death, but I've got what I've got that I've brought in, which isn't much. So I say there's 4 in there. There's the one I've just shown you. There's this one, which is the a nice delicate one. It is very delicate, so be careful when you're scrubbing with your blending brushes, and make sure you don't kick these pieces up because they're very fragile. They work well, they're strong, they're good. Then this one, which I really like. Then you've got the wider mesh here, and you can layer those 2 on top of each other, I'm sure. I've just not played with it yet. And then this one is actually, these punch pieces come out, so you've got the negative and positive on these. So I can see these being like done for a label, and then put your sentiment on there and then cut round it maybe. I don't know yet. Anyway, that's those. So I'm going to leave out that one. Okay, in fact, shall I go with the one we didn't use today? I might go with that one just to show you the nice fancy how delicate they are. So in my head, I have the blues. I might have some vellum. I might have this layer, this sponged. If you like to put in the comments if you would like a piece of this texture, always you'd like an embossed texture on vellum, because I have vellum out as well, and I can texture a piece, possibly with this one, the painted. This is the one that goes with the country florals, country blossoms, and that's kind of like an all over pattern. This is like a painted layer. So I could do some texture on the vellum, or I could brush this, but if you've seen the brushing, just tell me which you'd like, and I'll be cutting some layers. Okay, so we're taking all our blues. We're taking the Night of Navy, the Misty, and the Balmy, and I think for this one I'm going to go with the Misty. Put them on the floor. We've got a ready-made one, not yet. Okay. So I brought my trimmer in. I did bring the trimmer. I knew I was going to need that. I have got more than one, but the others are the old style, and I do like this one best. So we'll do a traditional card, score this in half, line it up top and bottom, score once, and then cut 2 at the same time. Okay, so then we have one ready to use next time, and that will go in the back of my packet in there. Okay, so that's that one done. We want a bone folder. The last card we did was with the this check one, wasn't it? Because we didn't use the blue. Sorry, Susie, if you're watching on replay, but we used the pink, didn't we, with those florally pieces? So that's what we did last time. That hasn't been used yet. only a few days ago, wasn't it? So this is going to be my base layer. And texture vellum, emboss vellum. Okay, that looks like, like one diagonal. Sorry, Linda. Everybody else? Yeah, okay, we'll go vellum. Right, so we're going to have a matte layer in between here, and then we're going to have the vellum layer. So I do love vellum. It's so effective. So I'm going to take that piece out because I think that'll be big enough. And we want to cut one layer to come inside. I don't know what colour what shade I'm going to do that yet. So I'm going to take this down 2 jumps. So where I say 1/2 centimetre, 1/4 inch if you're in the States. So this was 10.5, so I'm going to come down to 9.5. Okay, so that's like two chunks down. And then this one was 14.85, so I'm going to be 13.85. Okay, so it's a whole centimetre less. These pieces don't go to waste, as I've got my vellum scraps here, so that can go back in the box. Okay, nice and tidy. So if we put this layer on here like so, what do we want to put behind there? Let's see, I might like to do a dark layer actually. Do them a little bit in reverse. That's not big enough. Let's find a piece here. Might see if this is going to be. No, that's. Oh, that might just a sec. Let's see. Oh, I only want a little tiny slither around it. So that would be enough. Look at that. That's going to be perfect. So that's just a few millimetres over the 9.5. So let's go. I like 3 millimetres as a gap. So 3. When you're just doing a little bit on each side, 3 mils or 1/8 of an inch is a good judge as well. So you can put that on there like so. This would be a good one to show you how the adhesives do show through on dark colour on the vellum as well. So we'll lose that onto the chair. No smudge today, Chaz. I think I will use this one because it goes with this suite. Okay. Now I showed you the other day. I've shown you how to emboss the DSP. If you've missed that, catch up on one of the previous ones. You can emboss the sheet of DSP and just line up that pattern around here, and get that looking really nice in there. So just going to line that up so it's nice and straight. Bring it up the big machine, the big boss. There we go, take those out. That is a standard one, it's not one of the thick 3D ones, so I don't need that one. I'm just going to sandwich that between my 2 clear plates. Always remember that the folded edge always goes in first. Oh, Linda, something else to try. You missed Wednesday. Where were you, Linda? Were you away? I've got a feeling you might have been away. So when we take this out of here, that whole piece has given a piece of texture to the plain vellum that we started off with. So this is what we had, and this is what vellum does to it. No smudge yet, no. She's had a dinner, so she's probably sleeping. So that's the transformation that can make. Okay, it gives you that white effect. If any of you have ever done parchment craft, I have, and it's very time consuming, but I did love doing it. So this is quite nice because it breaks the fibres in here, and it will make it with that pattern, whatever pattern you run through. Okay, so that's that. So let's pop those to one side. So we finished that bit. Okay, so let's just pop this back again and see how we're looking. I'm going to build it all up before I stick it together. So I've just got that tiny little edge on it, which will just give a little lip. This is a wing it, by the way, as you've been poorly. Sorry to hear that. Okay, now's the time for me to bring in my little project. So several of you have seen my little handbag with the rounded handles. It wasn't my design, but it was something that somebody else had done overseas, and I took it and ran with it and did my own thing with it. So I've done a different one. You remember this set with the countryside corners, and these are the dies. The reason I've taken these out of the box, they are still in the cart, as last week's show we actually had some product go missing off the stand, so I was reluctant to put these out today, so I've just taken the sleeve out of the case and put the photocopy of dies so nothing could go walkies. Okay, so it's sad when people do that, but unfortunately I had to. Now these dies are very, very cute. I have got a bag here that I've made that will be a tutorial. Hi Wendy, nice to see you. Nice seeing you today. Hi Angela, around the corner. Just wave across the road. So this is a bag that I've made, but this time instead of making it out of the paper, the designer series paper front and back, I've used cardstock. So we've actually made it so it fits a full-size card. So like on here, this full-size card will fit in on cue. There we go. This with the envelopes, these will fit inside there nicely. Okay, so I'm sticking to these colours because we are going to be writing. Jackie and I have got a nice tutorial lined up that she's writing some projects that the ladies have seen at the show, and then I will do the bag and I will do a set of cards in here as well. Okay, so that's the reason for doing this. And in cutting that in my envelope here, when I cut these handles out, they're actually more than one handle there to make them sturdy. But as a byproduct of that, you actually get several of these. So you've got the space from your handle. You can see that, can't you? So you've got the waste from there. Well, it's not waste because we hang on to it. And this is one from this balmy blue layer under here. You know how the scrapbookers call it gutting. You can cut whatever you like out of that piece. And they might be ridged, you can't really feel it, but I've cut this piece out of that layer because I know I'm going to be using it with these. So I now have a double layer on here, like so, and that could sit on there like that. But I do feel actually that's going to distract from it a little bit, and I think it's too big, so I think I'm going to just keep that to like that. If I had the dies to hand, I would cut a white one to go inside there, but I haven't. So we will wing it round and we'll see where we go. But I really like those dies. They've been very popular. Lots of people are looking at those. So what am I going to do on here? I needed a set of stamps that I cannot find. They will be buried deep in the car. Not that one, not that one. What I have got as a backup, I have this one here. So I'm going to make some little flowers. I wanted some particular little flowers that will go with the suite we're doing, but I can change that later. It's not a problem. So I'm going to use these, but I'm going to go and grab my punch, just so I can punch them easily. And we have the punch that goes with it. Okay, so now we'll go back to our white card. Get that out of the way. And this is the way. Now this is where you use a little bit of artistic license. Let's see if we've got some layers. I don't think we've got anything large enough for these. Yes, I know I'm going to be told to let smudge in. So let's go and see. She won't last 5 minutes, but let's see. Your guests await. No, she'll just sit on the floor and watch me. So I'm going to lay this on here, just chop a piece off so that we've got a piece to work with our punch here. So I just want a little panel. Yes, she is. Are you saying hello? What? Mummy's been out all day and Daddy had to give treats. Mummy fed you. Daddy had to give treats. Okay, so I'm going to put some little flowers together on here. I have got blocks in hand, so I'll take a biggish one. So I'm going to do these ones on as a big block. These ones just on the inner layer. Okay, so I've got some scrap paper here somewhere. Had some scrap paper. Oh well, this might have to do. I had some figures on here, so don't just. I was doing a little example to show my hubby something, comparisons. So I will stamp off on there. And I have my ink pads here, so I will probably use those 2 shades as well. I've got Misty Moonlight and Night of Navy. Oh, love Regency Park. I've completed wedding items. 45 guests. I know, Helen. It's a big task, that one, isn't it? So I'm going to use the outline being in the darker colour. It's personal choice as to which one you do first, whether you do the outer one or the inner one, and it depends a lot for me on the colours that I'm using. So start off, I say look at your punch. You're going to be punching it upside down, so this will be face upwards. You want your big one over to the right hand side, so I'm going to bring that one down there. Okay, just for good luck we're going to do 2. So I'm using Night of Navy and I'm using it neat. Okay, I have got my mat here somewhere, but that's don't worry about that. So then this one, I'll put that one away, and then this one, excuse me, I'm going to stamp off on here. Okay, so I've got the inner, and I'm going to make this a little bit lighter because we don't want it that dark. So if I stamp that off first, okay, it is quite dark. It is the shade under this. Grab my glasses. I will grab my mat. There we go. And I'm going to line this up again. So the big one is coming this side. Okay, so you can see through that. Sorry if I'm getting my head in the way. Just lining those up over the top. Get it all nice and neatly straight. And then stamp down. Okay, that way I've used the medium shade, I'd say. The middle shade. And then it comes out beautifully like that. You can see the difference. Oh dear. Sorry to hear that, Sandra. This was the local show, ladies, who are further away from me. So this was the one where it's just up the road from me here. It's 20 minutes away, probably 20 minutes up the main road. So it's a lot different to being 4 or 5 hours away. So I'm just doing the same for this one as well, lining them up over the top. So depending on what colour you're using, if you put a pale colour on here, say like the pale pink, if you did a pale pink and you did this one first, you might not need to stamp it off. But when you're then trying to find it, and the stamps will get stained, it's just one of those things. They do stain any colours. I mean, the pink comes up the worst, the purples, the dark colours, the reds, they do stain. But they clean and they're perfectly good to use. But when you're then with a stained ink, you're trying to find where that pale colour is underneath. You can't see it. If you've got a strong outline, I always think that that's the best way to go. But that's my personal choice. You know, you'll find your own way using it. But I don't think we've done this in the blues before. So let's go in here now. So we've got the punch. Okay, and we're just going to come in and take some of those out. So we're just lining it up on the back of the punch here. Can't tilt you away too much because I won't see it, but there we go. There's one all lined up. And punch those ones out and then move it along and do the same again. Ladies who were with us today, I hope you enjoyed the samples we had. There was quite a few samples with the blues. We do rather love them. I say Jackie's going to be doing a tutorial for a couple of projects and I'm going to be doing the bag and some cards. So we will be combining those all into one. So there's our little flowers. I'll put those away. My thought process in my head was to have these coming around the edges as a little cluster, so we could have a little side of cluster there and a little kind of cluster there, or even come down as a gradient. That's quite nice. Come around sort of like so. Now, when you haven't got your other dies, but you have some white card, I'm going to do a quick improvisation because I need to teach you how you can do improvisations as well. So I'm going to draw around this. I've got a nice soft pencil. I want to try this with a white layer behind it. And then we'll put the sentiment onto the white layer. So I'm drawing around this. There are dies. The dies are great and you might not have to do this, but if you have to in an emergency, then you can draw around that like so. And then what I do is I put that to one side, we'll use that. So on here, I will come just inside that. Now I do eyeball. So I can literally come across there and just have a few mils, turn it round, the same few mils. You've got the gap on there. Can you see me on there? You probably can't see, can you? So what I'm doing is just taking that just inside, just by that about 3 mils, just inside, okay? And so you can come along that way, take that one across, and then take this one across, just giving that same gap that you've got all the way around, okay? And this one might be a little bit less than what the dies would be actually. And then just going all the way around the same. And I am eyeballing it. You just guess at it. But kind of, you will have the dies. If you buy the set, obviously you will have the dies. And you won't leave them outside in the car, buried under everything. My back could not take unloading again tonight. So that will be in the morning now. Okay, I'm all the way around now. So now what I'm going to do is take a big pair of scissors and rough cut around there. Okay, put that away. So on here we have what looks like, it's not going to home in, is it? Will that home in on there better? That's better. So it looks like the like an artist drawing where they go over the edges like so. So what I'm going to do now is get my glasses down, and I'm going to cut those long edges on that inside line. Okay, and this piece purely because the dies are outside. I'm not losing my mind if you're joining me late. Well, maybe I am. But no, my back couldn't take unloading everything. I've got the tables out there as well as all the boxes and all the kits and everything that I took. It's an estate cart and it's full. So I'm just cutting on the inside of those just to give a tiny little border. Okay, and for this I do use long scissors. Stampin' Up don't have long scissors now. They used to a long while ago. But the long scissors, you're getting a long line, and if you go with your little ones and go snip, 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 you will end up with a jagged edge. If you can do it as one long, even on these ones, as one long cut, you get a better finish. Okay. Our messages can post pic on here. Which is this? Love the bags. Ah, you've taken the photos of the bags. Helen, I don't know that you've seen. Oh, you did. I might have sent it across to you. So that now on there gives us a nice little border. Can you see that? Okay, so then in here I want to put my sentiment. So, what sentiments do we have, ladies? What would we like to hazard a guess at? Petal Park hasn't got anything in it. Oh, I will make this card again with the right sentiments. But I have this one, layering leaves, and these are really quite nice in here. Now you can have it that way or this way. So thinking of sending hugs. I kind of like that. I don't know if that's going to go that way. So I've not christened this one yet either. So sending hug will just fit in there. I like that one. Or best wishes. Best wishes. Yeah, best wishes might be nice. There we go, that fits in there nicely. So if the sentiment goes in the middle, then your flowers can come around here as an arc and around here as an arc. Okay, so that's where we are. So let's get the greeting stamped now. Take that apart, dissect it a little bit. You won't fit on that one, on that block. Are you all keeping up with me? Or have you gone to watch the telly? I've lost my navy ink pad. It was here. Buried. So for greeting, I like to go to the darker shade. That's just me personally. I tend to use a lot of black as well for sentiments, but if like something like this, I wouldn't do black. I'd go towards the darker tone. Okay, and again, if you keep it flat, straight on here, you're going to stamp in the middle. There we go. Take a breath. Make sure it's good. So now we've just got to put it all together. So the reason I said about vellum, when you add adhesive to vellum, it does show through. You can't get away from the fact it will show through. So here we're going to have this piece in the middle. We're losing all that lovely detail, but we get the floral pieces around the outside. So we will use that to our advantage. Okay, so that's those two. So start at the bottom and work up. I've got a Tombow here somewhere. There we go, layer this up. I've lost my little pots, look, there's one. I stand my Tombow, we did it at the show. I stand my Tombow in little mini jam jars. We used to make little cardboard boxes with a circle punch out of them. But you know what? The mini jam jars have got weight to them. They're less likely to topple over and they won't get all scrunched up like cardboard with a hole in the middle. So I do tend to like those. So these I'm going to put together flat as well. Then I will layer those up on Stampin' Dimensionals to go on the card. Tweezers. I have more than one pair of tweezers, so the tweezers are safe. They were here. You know me without tweezers. Oh, it doesn't bear thinking about. There we go. So that's on there. So these ones will be layered, but I'm going to put the vellum on. So when I put this on here, you will not see any of this middle area. So we are quite happy to put adhesive in that middle area because it's going to be covered. So as I pop this in here and just leave that tiny little border, okay, you will see that vellum through. And it's a good exercise for me to be able to show you and hold it up to the camera to say it's there, you cannot hide it. Okay, yeah, basic greys isn't great. Basic grey is nice. It all depends on the colours you're using. So there we go. So that does show through. But now I'm going to cover it because I'm going to put this over the top of it. Okay, so I've got dimensionals. Grab some of these. I've got a couple of whole ones. And then we will use up the bits around the edges with another whole one. Now we're on bits. So snip these through here. You see me using up the bits quite a bit, if that makes sense. I do get through quite a few, but these are every single piece is usable. So I kind of put one in the middle there, I think. Take these backs off. Those two. Bin that side. So we have a sentiment in there. It looks a bit bland at the moment, but bear with. Once we get the flowers on, we'll be good. Now another little tip for you. If you wanted to, you could bring you in a bit. Bring that up. There we go. If you wanted to, you could actually have embossed this. Once you've stamped it, you could then run that through an embossing folder. Just make sure that the ink is dry, otherwise the ink will impregnate the inside of your embossing folder, and then the next time you put a piece of clean card in, it might push that ink onto, the process of the rollers will push that ink back onto where you don't want it. So just be mindful of that. Now we've got 3 each of, she says she had 3 each. What have I done with the little one? It's not on the floor. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2. Yes, disappeared off the face of the table. Not on me. I'm not wearing it. Picked it up on the back of anything. Oh well, we might have to do another one. Definitely. Can you see it anywhere? I can't see. Right, okay, I'm going to put these ones in the palm of my hand and use my knuckle. So that's the way I like to shape my flowers. So you can do that. Or you can use your Tombow lid. So on a mouse mat like this, a foam mat, you can go with the middle of your Tombow. So it's entirely up to you what you would like to use. I find my knuckle is a bit easier. But that's if you've got dexterity problems, you'll find that won't be the case. Okay. So I love these little flowers. They are so detailed because it's had that double layer on there. It's really, really sweet. Okay, now we're down to 5 instead of 6. I might come down there like so. Or I kind of like a bigger branch down the bottom here perhaps. do something like that. Just play around with them and then put a little cluster at the top there. So they could be on here, they could be half on, half off. We're just going to add a little bit of texture like so. Can you see that? All right. There we go. So this one's open. So I'm going to attach those on there. It's going to go on that corner. And when you're pressing them down and you want to hold it in the middle, again, grab your Tombow. Have one with the lid. Oh, not leave it behind, Sandra. A little bit sticky on there. That's held there. This one. It's going to come across there a little bit. Hold that on there. Because that will just help keep the shape rather than just press it flat with your finger. Because your fingertip can be quite flat. Okay, and then a little one just going to tuck in the middle there. Love this set. It's really, really fab. Okay, we can have those overlapping or we could come that way. Come this way. Okay, just hold it in place just until that Tombow sets and goes off. Okay, just run that round in a little circle. That'll stay there. Obviously you can do more or less, it's entirely up to you. Odd numbers are good. You bring those side bits up around the Tombow. Okay, and then the last but not least, the little one. Like so. Hold that one in place. I say, when you've got the die set and everything's all together, then it will be a lot easier because you can just chunk a load through. And obviously any of those layers you're making for other cards, you can take your gutting layer out of the middle. Okay, so I do just have under here, I have some of the in colour gems. This is a 23 to 25 in colour dots. So if you like these and you want to put some in the centre, we've used a couple of here already. And I take your pick tool, okay, a little putty piece on there. You don't have to keep changing the putty every single time you use it. We've got small, medium and large, so I'd kind of be inclined to move them like so. Oh, there, rock solid on there. I might have to go underneath. Yes. They're quite firmly stuck down there. So there's my large. That was another large. Okay, these are boho blue. These are the blue ones. Let's try that again for the little one. Yes, that one's coming up now, the little one. And just press that down in the middle there. And then up here we've got a medium and a... Come on. These bigger ones just seem to be really, really adhered down. A bit strong. But the little ones move nicely. Check the comments. You love this. Very effective, lovely card. Oh, bless you. You know me. I love doing anything like this. I'm just going to give up on that. It might be that I do need to change the putty. Might have lost its stick. There we go. So we've got some little gems in there. Pop those to one side. And there's our little card. Now, if we really wanted to go that little extra bit, we could grab a piece of scrap paper or board. Backing board is really good. When you get your 12 by 12 pieces of card, a backing board, the 12-inch backing board, is really good for just doing your splatter effect. So I'm just going to look for my Wink of Stella. Piece of paper towel here. I cleaned the masks earlier from the red, so I'm just squeezing that through, not over my project. Okay, now I will say that the vellum, it probably won't dry as quickly on here, so do be careful. But I want something on this white, so I want just some little splatters on here. Okay, let's do it the other way, like I learned that I must do it this way. It's a lot more effective, because the Tombow is the one that's flicking, not the Wink of Stella. So I'm just concentrating on that middle area. Okay, pop the lid on there, pop that away, and then I'm going to bring that up to the camera. And you should hopefully be able to see some sparkles. Just some little, go Stella. Absolutely, Rhonda, go Stella. Stella has to make an appearance on lots of things. A little bit of sparkle. I don't know if it's showing on the camera. You should be able to see on the white some little tiny dots. Okay, but I'm not touching that now in case any have gone on to the vellum. There are a few here, and I'll let that dry fully overnight. Okay, so there's my card for today. So it's a bit of a wing it, but I hope you've enjoyed it. It's Sandra's good at, you know, used to doing the old wing it, but you'll understand today's been a bit manic with the show. Okay, so I love that. We'll be back to normal on Wednesday. So any requests, any product, anything that I've got, I will build into a live for you. So that's not a problem. So I'll bring you back to me for a bit. Just take that off, and there we go, across there, and I'm back again. So there we go. That's tonight's card. Things like this you can churn out. If you wanted to make something like this, you could churn those out quite quickly, because you have just a massive session, and you just literally have a session doing your vellum, and then you can session doing your hexagonally pieces in the middle, and it's just really effective way of doing things. I love the textured embossing folders, and with the vellum it brings that instant texture to it with very little effort. So they are a good investment, the embossing folders. Just enhances that little bit more on the vellum. Okay, so anyway, that's me for now. Thanks, Karen, you're welcome. Sorry I was a little bit late getting myself sorted. What have I actually got in the house that I can use? But the car will be unloaded tomorrow. I'll get hubby to help me. But tonight we just need to rest. Yeah, give it a go. Angela, you can come round. Come and see me. I've got the other things I was going to just go over with you. Just bring your camera down to the table again. Just a sec. Pop you back over there. The other two things were here. Is the I've told you about the DSP sale, the starter kit. If any of you have got friends who are looking at want to love Stampin' Up and just want that extra value, if you sign up as a demonstrator this month, you've got £154 worth of product for just the £99. It's usually £130 for £99, but this month it's £154 for £99, and that includes those papers. So you can, in your starter kit, you can save on the papers with a 15% discount, and anything in the clearance rack, anything like that as well. So, and then the other one is anyone who's local to me. Sorry, the guys up north or elsewhere in the country, that won't work. But I'm having a craft clear out again. I had one over the bank holiday, and Jackie's going to be here as well. And my cousin Rebecca, she's got fabrics to sell, and she's got homemade jams and chutneys she's coming in with. So that's going to be next Saturday. So it's a week's time. Okay, so it's here. The tables will all be pushed out around the table, around the outside of the walls, and a big chunk in the middle. No crafting at all. There won't be space for crafting, but we'll have the urn on for teas and coffees. Okay, so that's just to remind you about that. I have put it up on the page already. But if you're free and you're in the area and you'd like to pop in, then come see me. Okay, so say cheerio, enjoy the rest of your